And it looks like we are live.
Hey everybody, it's Will Middleton, Kurt Von Onen, and Jonathan Denwood. We're coming to you today with a live stream about hosting in WordPress, managed hosting, specifically from WP Tonic. We're going to be talking about what is a managed WordPress host? Is that different from a managed WordPress host? We're going to be talking about the product offerings at WP Tonic. We're going to talk about building your audience and building your course and how working with a company like WP Tonic allows you to, or a tech partner like WP Tonic allows you to focus on the course subject matter and building your community and optimizing for those things instead of getting wrapped up in the tech, worrying about your plugin troubleshooting and all of the things that we get bogged down in the tech and WordPress. So welcome, Jonathan, to the show today. We're excited to have you on.
Oh, thank you so much, Will and Kurt. I've really been looking forward to having this chat with you.
Awesome. And so anyone watching us live, feel free to drop any questions in the chat. We'll get to a Q&A portion here in a little bit. But we're going to start by breaking down what is WP Tonic. We're going to talk through what is it worth it for you as a WordPress LMS website owner to invest in a tech solution like this for a host? Is it and what are the features, what are the benefits, and what are the considerations to be made? So I guess, Jonathan, do you want to kick it off for us by explaining what is WP Tonic as a brand, and how did you come to create it, and what does it offer for our listeners?
Oh, thank you so much, Will. Well, basically, WordPress tries to combine the flexibility and digital sovereignty and ownership of WordPress and try and combine it with the ease of setup if you went to a SaaS project. And I'm sorry, I'm going to swear now, Kajabi. If you were going, and we try and provide a middle road, basically, where you can keep the best parts of WordPress, but you can diminish all the separate elements you need. We provide those in a coherent package, plus we offer a great onboarding service, and we just try and get you over those slight hurdles that you get with WordPress, but you get all the benefits, like I say, of ownership, digital sovereignty, and flexibility.
Right, and when you say ownership and digital sovereignty, we're referring to like when you're on these hosted solutions, you have much less control over your style of your content, less ownership over the servers that you're hosted on. You have less control and flexibility as a platform. But could you speak a little bit to the difference for anyone who's watching in about what would they want to consider with a hosted LMS versus a WordPress LMS? And you mentioned WordPress LMSs are, of course, a little more complicated with the setup, and WP Tonic addresses these things by having a smooth onboarding experience and, investing in that specific feature of onboarding, getting set up, and the consultative side of the business. But could you speak a little bit to, for someone who's not familiar, what it's like to be on a hosted LMS versus what it's like to be in a WordPress LMS?
Yeah, sure. So we've got to be realistic here. One of the it really depends where you're coming from. If WordPress runs between 43 to 45% of all websites in the world. So most people have, not all, but a lot of people have been exposed to utilizing a WordPress website. And if you like the experience and you've got some and you're used to it to some degree, and you've decided that you wanted to build a community, you wanted to build a membership website and become part of the learning industry, and there's still enormous opportunities, and it's a great idea, in my opinion, to look at that. If you're used to WordPress, it's probably a great idea to continue to use WordPress because it's something you've used. Mm-hmm. Now, if you've got no experience at all about building any kind of website or editing in a page or any kind of exposure, there are going to be a few more hurdles to jump through with WordPress. We've got to be real here. Yeah. And depending what you're trying to do, you're going to get a more unified experience to some degree with going with a hosted cloud solution. Now, that really depends. If you've got no experience and you try and jump into Kajabi straight away, I think it's going to be a challenging experience with Kajabi. If you jump in with something that's a bit more simple, that's cloud hosted, let's take Teachable maybe, and you're just building a very basic course, um, you're probably going to find the experience slightly easier. Now, but most people want to build something. They want to build a website. They want to build features. Blah blah blah. Now with WordPress, the problem with WordPress is choice. You've just got so much choice out there, and you've got so many different opinions. People have honest different opinions about different what I call Lego bricks, which are the plugins. You know, and you need a certain stack of Lego bricks to build a modern website. You need a page builder. You need a learning management system. One of the best is LifterLMS. You know, it's a fantastic learning management system. And you need a couple of other key Lego bricks. And you can spend a lot of time researching, trying them all out, blah, blah, blah. And you can go down the rabbit hole with that. With WP Tonic, we supply all those best of breed Lego bricks. We've done that work for you, and we provide it as part of our hosting package. So not only have we done the research, we actually provide those Lego bricks as part of our, and they're fully licensed. And if you ever decide to leave WP Tonic and you give us your notice, we will migrate the website for you. You can keep utilizing those plugins. They are de-licensed, but they keep on working. And all you have to do is go and buy your own license. So unlike a cloud, if you stop paying, you lose your courses, you lose everything. And they don't make it easy in any shape or form in getting off their platforms. So it's really, we offer at WP Tonic a real win-win for everybody.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you might want to come a little bit closer to the mic. It was cutting a little bit in and out there, but we could hear overall what you were saying. And just to recap, so it sounds like, of course, getting into WordPress, it can be a complicated learning experience, a learning curve if you're new to it. And so learning how to use plugins, learning how to use themes, learning how to build your pages and use the editors and all this stuff can be overwhelming in some cases. So then that encourages a lot of people to go over to a hosted solution, maybe like Teachable or Kajabi, but WP Tonic is trying to meet those customers in the market where they're at, who do want high customizability, high flexibility that WordPress has to offer, while smoothing over that learning curve. Can you speak a little bit to the kind of the pricing of WP Tonic and the onboarding experience, and how WP Tonic specifically helps users get over that learning curve while leveraging the high flexibility in WordPress? Of like, what is the onboarding like?
Oh yeah, sure. Basically, we have a starter plan that starts, if you pay monthly, it's $55 a month, or if you pay yearly, it's $35. You get our white glove onboarding. That's between 30 to hour, where we go through everything with you. We find what you're trying to achieve, and then we customize the plugins that we're supplying. We have other people that already built their website and they're just looking for a real quality partner. Plus we deal with all the frustrations around email, which is another thing that confuse newbies. How you set up email on a traditional WordPress host. We deal with all that, and we supply very generous email functionality for marketing and other forms of email. That's all part of the package. So that's not another loop that can confuse people. We provide all that, Will.
Yeah, and that sounds great. And those are a lot of things that people don't know when they get into WordPress, even if they're comfortable with plugins or themes and they're aware of kind of how to use these things. There's underlying issues that become important, like email sending, email deliverability, and that kind of thing's covered and already set up at WP Tonic. So whether you're migrating a site you already own to WP Tonic or you're starting in WordPress, that onboarding experience will help you get integrated. And that's something that I haven't seen hosts offer. Like that's kind of a new thing that's emerging in the industry that WP Tonic offers, and that is the white glove onboarding. Like you're not going to get another web host really on the phone setting your stuff up for you. Usually in live chat, they might be able to help you. They might be able to fix a couple things, but that is really nice, that white glove onboarding as a true feature of the product to get smoothly integrated. And it really saves sleepless nights of like, is my WordPress site broken, or like I've got to troubleshoot this thing or that thing. And so I really like that approach of being a tech partner. And we do actually have an offer. I want to highlight this, or I guess I'll pass it to you, Jonathan, to highlight the offer that we'll be giving to users on the webinar here. So if you're attending live, you can get a bit of a discount on your WP Tonic hosting. Do you want to give us a intro to that?
Yeah, sure. For the annual plans, the yearly plans, any of them, we offer free plans starting at $35 normally. But I've got a special offer that'll give you 50% the first year, and that's WP Tonic 50%, 204 exclamation mark. So that's WP Tonic 50% with the percent sign, 2024 exclamation mark, all one word. And if you go in and the checkout and use that, you'll get 50% off the first year.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. That's a very generous offer for the audience here. And I want to encourage anyone in the chat to drop any questions you have about hosting in WordPress, setting up your site with LifterLMS and the WP Tonic service, or any questions you have there. We'd be happy to dive into. But in the meantime, let's roll into some of the most common frustration points that people have with creating their LMS website. Because LMS websites are not just basic WordPress websites. They're not just static websites, blog websites. They include a lot of complex functionality, e-commerce components where we're accepting payments, we're creating user logins. There's progress tracking in an LMS to make sure that we're following users through the course. There's a lot of complex functionality. And so LifterLMS is one of the products included in the WP Tonic suite. If you pick up a WP Tonic, LifterLMS is included with that through the license. But can you speak to some of the other tools that you've found to be the most valuable that you've included, like themes or other plugins that users are commonly using and WP Tonic includes?
Yeah, I'm so excited that we've really made progress, because the apart from the learning management plugin, and like I say, Lifter is just a fantastic partner. It offers so much value and flexibility, and the team at Lifter is just fantastic. You and Kirk and everybody. But the other main Lego block is what plugin you're going to use to build the website and build the landing pages. And we offer Elementor. We don't enforce you to use. I want to point out is that we don't force you to utilize anything. You can use another page builder with us. We have a very diverse group of individuals, but if you want the best, what we feel is the best, and it's fully licensed and we provide it, it's there for you. And we offer Elementor, but we are moving to also offering WP Cadence, and because of the performance benefits of utilizing WP Cadence. And we've just developed out a suite of over almost a dozen Cadence child themes that are specifically designed for membership community building, and we offer that as part of our package wheel, and that's included, and they're designed for membership, and you can choose one of them, or you can choose one of the other Cadence child themes, or but these are specifically designed, and they're just fantastic. And the speed benefits and utilizing Gutenberg and Cadence together, we just love it, Will.
Yeah, and Cadence is one of the top themes in WordPress right now. So it like most popular, most installed. So that's incredible. We did have a question come in chat. At what price point is the white glove onboarding?
It's on all the products, on all the levels from starter up. I just found it just saves an enormous amount of back and forth. And people need, especially, we have a very diverse group of individuals hosting with us. We have a couple of websites that have thousands of members, and we have other people that are starting out that don't really know that much. They've utilized WordPress a little bit and they want to still use it. So we're catering to a very diverse group of users. So I found very quickly it just saves an enormous amount of time and frustration if you can provide a white glove service, because we want these people to be successful, because if they're successful, they're going to be with us for years. A lot of the clients have been with us for years. And that's just fantastic for them. For us, it's a win-win. But it's getting over that initial hurdles, like I've discussed, which is choice and some other things. But when people get over those hurdles, they just love WordPress and they love running their membership website. They would never go to a cloud-based system and all the restrictions and the costs involved if they can get over that initial hurdle. And we find the white glove is the main tool that we utilize to get over that, Will.
Yeah. And I think one concept that puts this into perspective pretty nicely is the idea of launching early and often. That's something that WP Tonic would help you do as a tech partner. And I think a rule of thumb that we came up with, or that you came up with when we were planning this, is within 3 months or less is the idea of having your course material put together and launching your website, getting over the tech hurdle within 3 months or less, creating your LifterLMS site, getting your Elementor pages built out, installing your theme and your plugins, all this stuff. We want to try to get that done within 3 months or less so we can get our product out to the market. And the white glove service, absolutely helps you get over that. But the WP Tonic product offering in general is designed so that as a course creator entering the digital world, you don't have to worry about getting bogged down in the tech, and you can get through the whole setup process in 3 months, right?
I think this is one of the major things that people got to understand, and I call it the war and peace scenario. People, for understandable reasons, will want to offer the most value to their students, and they've got all this knowledge in their mind and they want to offer great value. So they build very complicated initial courses and spend a lot of energy and time on building very detailed courses. The truth of the matter is, I would never advise you, in some circumstances that might be the right path, but in general, I think it's better to build an initial course that is smallish, that gets a quick victory for the students and enables you to get that first student batch through that initial course, because you're going to learn so much from those initial students, from their feedback, and that feedback is your next course is going to be much more value and much more better from that initial feedback. So and also the more time you give to something, the more life in general can interfere, so if you can be focused and have that finishing line in 3 months and get that first initial course and get it launched, I think things are going to go much better for you, Will.
Yeah. And the real groundwork is getting the audience, like you said, and getting the interest in the course rather than getting wrapped up in the tech. So that allows you to really spend your time as a course creator. Working with WP Tonic allows you to spend your time as a course creator working on those key business metrics rather than they getting stuck with
And the other thing, Will, with Lifter LMS, it's got a really nice modern back-end interface, and you really don't have to really customize anything initially. And I would really advise somebody, because the Lifter have been on the market and they're provided such a clean interface, that you just go with the presets when it comes to the lesson course layout. But the beauty of WordPress is that when you get that feedback and you want to adapt the actual course or lesson layout structure, you got that flexibility. You're not restricted. But I would advise you just to concentrate on that initial course. And obviously you want a nice looking website and a nice experience, and you get that with Cadence. But then don't spend too much time worrying about the course layout structure. Just go with the presets that Lifter provide. But then when you get that feedback, you've got the flexibility to change that if you wish.
Yeah. And I like that whole concept more and more. I've been building LMS sites for years and getting bogged down in the tech and helping people get through trying to create a complicated setup. But I'm more and more going back to using template websites and using out-of-the-box solutions and using plugins out of the box as much as possible. And I know Kurt on the call here works with LifterLMS directly, also works with WP Tonic directly. Kurt, do you have any input and ideas around that concept of sticking with products out of the box as much as you can to reduce friction as a business?
Yeah. I would say one of my frustrations is people that aren't ready yet. And no one wants to hear that they're not ready. Like no one wants to hear, "Oh, Grasshopper, you must," But some people just aren't ready for different automation tools and all these grandiose ideas they have, especially without the audience built yet. And at some point your business is going to grow to where you want to focus on your business. You don't necessarily want to be a web developer. You have a product or a service or a knowledge base that you're trying to share with others. And so to me, it's super important. Like when I look at the WP Tonic offer, and when you think of things in terms like there's 60,000 plugins out there in the repository, right? You could easily get lost and go down some crazy rabbit holes if you're new to this side of the industry. But WP Tonic, they curate a really top list of really good performing, lightweight, high performance things. Like you go, okay, this is my scenario. What's the best solution for my scenario? And that white glove onboarding just goes, well, I would suggest you use A, B, C, and D. Yeah. And then that gets built and given to the client. Like change your text, change your pictures, and get a minimal viable product out so you can build that audience. And you know what? If it's successful, you can always expand and change. You can bring developers on. You can do whatever you want. But get started. The main thing is get started.
Right. Reducing the friction with getting started and getting a product put out there. There's almost like some kind of a psychological thing going on with like not wanting to launch. I've been through that like so many times in that cycle of not wanting to launch, and I feel that getting bogged down in the tech is a way to not launch and not really validate my product offering and the business. So I think there is a free offer that we have for anyone watching this webinar as well. I'll put this link in chat. Is the WP Tonic membership guide. So this is going to help you figure out, which tools are going to be right for your site and forming a membership. Jonathan, do you think you could speak a little bit to what users will find if they download the membership guide and what value they can get out of that?
It's a 2-3 page PDF. It's a checklist basically. It just goes through. If you're looking to build your first membership website, what WordPress technology and what are the things that you need to be thinking about around what you need to produce a modern course, and just gives you a quick checklist guideline about the things that you've got to, and just saves you a ton of time basically. But it's not war and peace. It's like 2-3 pages of a nice laid out PDF, and it just gives a brief checklist of all the things that you need. And there is no matter what platform, hosted, cloud or hosted, that you go with, there is a number of balls that you're going to have to juggle. And this just gives you a checklist of the things that you got to know, basically.
Awesome. Yeah, and those optics from industry experts are really, really useful, especially diving into tech. I've been diving into sound engineering technology like GarageBand and Adobe Audition, and I'm completely lost. And so I empathize now with WordPress users who open up the WordPress interface and they're just completely lost. I wish I had a checklist. I remember like when I was intro to WordPress, I wish I had a checklist like this in order to just figure out what are the key priorities, what are the things I should look for, what are the key plugins, and have that opportunity to go get like a white glove service and have this kind of stuff set up for me.
Yeah, the other, this is further on your journey. Obviously we provide, because we provide the email functionality, we provide another great Lego brick to design your newsletter and to send out emails, and that's Fluent CRM. And it's our partner of choice. Like, we don't force you to use it. And we actually also offer some other marketing automation products, but they're our main partner. And it's just what Fluent has done, because you got a really now lovely quiver of plugins, because you've got Fluent Forms and we provide the pro version. You got Fluent CRM, and now you got Fluent Booking, which is just a great quiver of plugins that really are aimed at coaches and e-learning entrepreneurs. Combine it with Cadence and with LifterLMS. We provide a really powerful building block that enables you to do email marketing and keep in contact with your students and market with your new students, all in one coherent bundle. Will?
Yeah, that's awesome. And I'm taking a look now at the WP Tonic website at the pricing page, and it looks like at all the levels you have included the tech tools that come with WP Tonic. LifterLMS, Fluent CRM, integrates well with Lifter. We actually just listed that on our store as a third-party add-ons, Fluent CRM. So wonderful combination of products to use. But could you talk us through a little bit about the different pricing levels you offer? 'Cause it sounds like the white glove service is included with all the levels, and so are the tech tools. What's the difference between the different pricing plans?
Well, it's a difficult one, because people obviously want you to say you can run these many students on each platform. You can't do that, because fundamentally some membership websites, they have active membership, but they don't use, there's not a lot of usage of quizzes in into back and forth discussion. They basically, it's just a written with some video, so there's not a lot of back and forth. Others are very engaged with their students, so they're more demanding with the hosting. Now the other factor which really affects the experience people have generally with a great plugin like LifterLMS is that they do tend to go with hosting that was never designed to run something like LifterLMS. And the real killer to learning management systems is caching. It's the thing that will cause a lot of support tickets for LifterLMS, and it really degrades the general experience of a lot of people. We switch off all caching on our hosting, and then we utilize we customize it so there's no caching when there's actually a person logged in to the website. Caching only runs on non-login pages, so we avoid all that endless frustration that a lot of people get with 90% of WordPress hosting providers, because we don't want to deal with the tickets ourselves, and we're there to provide a really premier experience, and we're one of the few hosting providers that does that, Will. So I just wanted to mention that because I think it's really important, Will.
Yeah, I think that is really important. Is like, and now that you say that, that does make sense as one of the top features. When you look at WP Tonic as a hosted solution, LifterLMS is listed on the pricing page, and it's like if the website host lists like LifterLMS on the pricing page, you know that they're paying attention to the product. They know how to build websites with LifterLMS. They know how to support websites with LifterLMS, and like you mentioned, caching is a nightmare where, you know, there's different layers of caching, and your website host might turn one of them off, but then in your client's browser it's still cached. And so not having to deal with these caching nightmares and support tickets, I think, is one of the best features of a managed host, in that you're not having to spend 3 hours on a random Saturday in December when you're trying to relax troubleshooting your website, because the website host is optimized to use the tools that you're trying to build a website with, and that's just such a big benefit.
Yeah, and we do keep all the plugins updated. We all, we do install something that allows us to roll back a particular plugin if there's a problem. But the reason why we do that is for security. And the other factor is we utilize the most powerful security and backup. We have 3 vectors of backup at WP Tonic. We also provide for those that want more control. We do provide a control panel that gives you can. We also give you stage insight, because like I say, we're dealing with a very diverse group of people, Will. So some people want a control panel, and we can provide that, and others don't want that, and so we do everything in the background by updating. But we update everybody's plugins, and we utilize the software that's the leading one. It comes from Mailcare and Blog Vault, and they're experts, and we're partners with them, and they're utilized by the best WordPress hosting providers in the industry. And that's what we're utilizing for our security, one of our security vectors partners. Mm-hmm. So we're not cutting back on the quality of security and backup that we're providing, because we're totally anal about it.
Awesome. That's good to hear from a website host. So we did have a question in chat. Does WP Tonic create or support PWA, Progressive Web App, enabled websites? So any WordPress website could be added to your home screen of a device in order to create like a shortcut so it functions like an app. WordPress is mobile responsive, and the themes that Jonathan mentioned, like Cadence, are mobile responsive. But then I think things like push notifications would not be supported for.
No, you've got to go. Yeah. That's the main difference. That's a whole other area, because people get very, very caught up with that, because one of our other partners that we just love is BuddyBoss, and BuddyBoss does offer an app, and the main reason people go down the app route is push notifications. Mm-hmm. Now with the technology you've just used, it will utilizing that will cover 95% of the need of an app. It's just that push notification side, and in my opinion, for the right stage of your membership community website, push notification is really important, but you've got to have the right community and be at the right stage for that type of investment. Now, when you it's one of the reasons why people look at Mighty Networks or Circle, like BuddyBoss does provide an app as well. But all these solutions, people tend to get fixated, and this is just my opinion, at too much of an earlier stage, where they really need to be concentrating on their students, what their students need, the ease of use of the back end. Does the course really solve problems for the target student audience? There's a lot of factors. Is your email marketing effective? Is your onboarding effective? There's a lot of things. So people tend to look at the app and the push functionality at much too early stage, in my opinion. But it's just really getting that audience and then looking at our app solution at the right stage in your business progress, really, Will.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think I've deployed like minimum viable notification solutions with things like text message notification integrations through like a CRM solution as a way to be like, I'm going to push this text notification to your phone that says, thanks for completing the course, buy the next one or whatever. But you want to be careful with text messages and not overdoing it. But that is a minimum viable push notification solution. If you are trying to ping your users' phones, that is a really reasonable way to do it.
Yeah, because what a lot of people don't realize when it comes to apps is, and I'm just the same, unless you've got a very, very communicative, engaged community that really at a certain stage that's offering a lot of value through discussion, you're just going to invest a lot of money on an app solution and it's not going to be uploaded to people's phones. And it just isn't going to be utilized, Evan. And it's never going to be uploaded because you never got the other things sorted out, which is building that community, providing the content, building. It's a lot of work. It pays dividends because your leading community members become your biggest pushers of your course, that they become evangelists for your community, and it's just a great, but you've got to do it in stages, and people get fixated too soon about things that they need to look at later on their journey.
Right. Yeah. I would never deploy an app for my own business if I didn't have about 1,000 students already using my. Yeah.
I'm going to say, I think the app answers the question of the demand. It doesn't create the demand.
Exactly.
And I think people get it reversed. They think the app is going to somehow magically create demand. It doesn't. It's an answer to a pre-existing demand.
Well, it's very linked to the beginning of this conversation when I was talking about the war and peace problem. That it's a very similar scenario. People, for understandable reasons, think by building a massive course, with chapters, lessons, that's 20 hours long, 30 hours long in content, that provides value, but it doesn't. It will not mean that your launch and your course is going to be successful. It means that you've spent almost a year probably building it all out, and if you ever launch them, like I say, you're giving more energy. It's a similar scenario, I feel.
Yeah. And, I hear Will use this phrase a lot. He'll say, oh, well, you got to go after those dopamine hits, right? And what he means there is you got to have these short bursts of content that people can complete that gives them that feeling like they're accomplishing something. I downloaded an audiobook and I had no idea the thing was like 14 hours long, Jonathan. And every time I even see it in my library, I get angry with myself because I'm never going to finish that stupid audiobook. And I think a lot of people, when they sign into a really big course, they see a value and they want it and they sign up for it. But most people don't have the willpower to finish something that's big.
Well, I think that I signed up for a course about 4 months ago, and funny enough, it is a massive course. But I'm intermediate in the particular subject, and I was looking for that very detailed quasi intermediate lower expert level on the particular subject matter. So I'm prepared. I want to move up to middle expert to high expert level. So I was looking for something that was meaty, something that went into a lot of detail, and I got it with this particular course because it is 20 hours plus of different modules, videos, and it's about 20 hours long in video and written content. And I'm still at it, and I bought it 6 months ago, and I'm about 60 to 70% through it. But I knew that I was going to take my time and was going to go through it and utilize the examples, and it's been very valuable. But I think it's really that higher intermediate, lower expert level that's looking for that big meaty course, where I think about 2/3 aren't looking for that because they're beginners and intermediates. Is that making sense, Will and Kurt?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but in that case, you are the audience who's demanding a bigger course, a more robust solution, and so it's not like they just decided to come up with a robust solution and then the audience is attracted to it. It's like the audience demanded a robust solution, and thus they provided.
Yeah, because they marketed to people. The person is an industry expert, and he was marketed it to higher intermediates to lower expert. He's seen as one of the gurus, experts in a particular niche area, and that's why I bought it. And also he was doing an early bird price, which was quite attractive, and I had followed that individual's content on YouTube, on the net, and I had made the decision that he was a genuine expert in the particular field, and I knew it was going to be meaty. It was going to be a lot of detail and a lot of looking over the written content and reviewing the videos multiple times before I could even follow some of the concepts. But it's still been very valuable because, you know, I got a course where this guy charges hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars per hour if you were having personal consultation with him. So, and also I wouldn't have been able to understand most of the things that he was saying to me in a personal consultation anyway, because I needed the time to re-look at the concepts, think about and utilize and go back, re-watch. That is the beauty of this platform, because it gives you that time to read, re-watch, try out, go back, see where you must say, try again. That is the beauty of the platform that we're all involved in, isn't it, Will?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we're coming to the the closing few minutes here of the webinar. But before we close out with some final thoughts and key takeaways, I wanted to re-highlight what the takeaways for you as a viewer are. We have a free checklist available in the chat here, WP Tonic download membership guide, and we also have the coupon code. If I can, it's a banner. Pull up the banner. 50% off your first year of WP Tonic if you purchase an annual plan with the coupon code on screen now. So take a screenshot, write that code down, and then there's also an option on the WP Tonic website, a Let's Talk button up in the menu as a consultant call. I think, Jonathan, do you want to shed a little bit more light about that Let's Talk call if someone's considering WP Tonic as a solution? Is that the place?
Yeah, you can have a chat with me. What more could you ask for, Will? If you can have a half-hour chat with me, I'm quite happy to go through the different ideas you might have for your membership website. I think it's still the early days of e-learning. Actually, I'm really excited. Oh, that's the other thing that I didn't explain. With one of our partners, Bertha, which we provide a full account to, we provide full AI copywriting ability that helps you write your courses out, and we provide a full that's integrated with our stack of plugins. We offer Bertha, and that gives you full AI. And I'm so excited because I really do think we're very much, and also with our partner, my mind's gone, WP Cadence, they've just introduced AI in helping with the layout of your websites. So we're in very early days of AI, but I think it's going to revolutionize online learning. So you'll be able to have a real custom experience dependent on your different styles of learning and how you are coping with the information that you're being exposed. So the actual course will be able to adapt to how you're actually dealing with the information that's been given to you. And I think in the next few years we're going to have an amazing experience and a new birth membership and learning online. I think it's going to be extremely exciting, Will.
Oh yeah, like learning as a general concept is an extremely neurological centric process, and we're doing a lot of like research and development in AI tools and neural processing. So like as these AI developments come out and tools get integrated into WordPress and learning and the WP Tonic product offering, it's just going to open up a world of you
in the end you have a kind of quasi teacher mentor that will be world class, and instead of you having to go to a very expensive school, college to be exposed to the best teachers, that you will have that teacher in front of you, and that teacher will be able to adapt to your learning style. So it's just, I can see that coming in the next few years, much quicker than what people think, actually.
Okay, very awesome. If anyone in the chat wants to see us do another webinar about AI and the future thoughts on e-learning, post that in the chat. That would be useful to know if our audience wants to see more of that kind of content too. But yeah, so you've got the free checklist, you've got the 50% off coupon from chat, and you've got the opportunity to book a 30-minute consultation with Jonathan. And so I'll pass it around the room. Kurt, do you have any takeaway thoughts for the audience to walk away with?
Well, a big thought is if you have any questions that you want to get before we hit the kill button, you want to put that into comments, and we'll see those come in so we can ask Jonathan the question for you. But the other thing that I wanted to hit on, and I just don't want it to escape the moment, is Jonathan is online all the time. He's got tons of content too. So, if you're not already aware, our audience isn't always that audience, and that audience isn't always our audience. So I just want everyone to know that Jonathan's got the WP Tonic show, interviews experts in WordPress and the tech space, usually about every Thursday or so. And then I think you publish them on the following Tuesday. And then I think, I could be misspeaking, but then he also has the Membership Machine show, which is just a wonderful program where he doesn't just focus on WordPress. He actually talks about, hey, what's a SaaS solution for this? And then what's a WordPress answer to that? And it's kind of a really cool conversation piece that I think he does.
Yeah, thank you for that. But I think what's fantastic about WordPress now with CRM, with systems like Fluent CRM, and it was something that was missing a couple of years ago, but now the Fluent CRM gives you the power of Active Campaign at a fraction of the price. Yeah. So a lot of the hosted solutions, their email marketing and automation systems are basic, and it's really quite easy when you get to a certain level, find that you can't do what you want to do in those systems, where you're not going to have that problem with Fluent CRM. It's really easy to use at a basic level, and as you grow, it grows with you, and you can do everything that what you were looking at Active Campaign does, or similar system. And these automotive systems have become very, very expensive. And you just won't have that problem when you're looking at a WordPress system. And I just think what Fluent and Lifter's doing with Cadence, we've got really now some really fantastic Lego bricks, as I call them, plugins. And we can provide anything that a cloud system and much, much more. So I think the prospects of WordPress have just look amazing over the next couple of years.
No, that's great.
Absolutely. But yeah, it looks like we have a consultation booked for you, Jonathan, from Vicky in the chat. So thanks, Vicky, for signing up. And yeah, very cool. So I think WordPress is, like you said, Jonathan, we're just at the beginning of the e-learning development process, and tech in general is built on top of layers of abstraction. We've got like a machine code that's, C, the language C is built on top of that. You've got PHP and other languages that compile into C. You've got WordPress, which is built in PHP, and it just like compiles down to the machine code. And so now you've got like hosted solutions built on top of WordPress that are ways to create things like learning experiences that just ultimately we'll go into how you can pay tools.
Oh, you break it up, Will.
Oh, I'm breaking.
You broke up there a little bit.
Oh, okay. Oh, well,
You haven't put your quarters into the slot, I don't think.
I gotta put more quarters in my CD slot on my computer.
Yeah, but I think the last thing, folks, is you just try and keep it, build something that looks nice, get that first course in, aim at the 3-month mark. I think that's the sweet. I think that's the Goldilocks sweet point.
Yeah.
Any shorter, you're really pushing yourself if it's your first course. Anything longer, I think life can get in the way. So I think aim at the 3-month to get this from beginning to start launched, and look at a minimum viable course if it's your first course experience. And we love you to build something on WP Tonic with Lifter. And I think you've got the prospect, because you don't need an enormous community to make a really good living and provide great service to your target audience. That's the beauty of it, isn't it, Will?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But thanks everyone for joining us on this LifterLMS webinar with Jonathan Denwood from WP Tonic. Check out the free checklist. Check out the 50% off discount on an annual plan, and book a free consultation to figure out if WP Tonic hosting is right for you. And thanks for joining us, Jonathan. We'll see you in the next one.